Hello and welcome to my 10 minutes of thinking aloud. I'm excited to be sharing experiences, thoughts and ideas coming out of the COVID-19 crisis and its effects on education in its widest sense. None of it is as yet in-depth academic research, but all of it is real. Thank you to my friends at the National Research University Higher School of Economics in Moscow for their support in making this happen, and thank you to my youngest daughter Imogen for making it happen. I am very happy to be here with you. My name is Professor Dr. Geir Graus, OBE, and I'm the Global Director of Education for Kidzania. I'm also very proud to be a professor at the aforementioned National Research University. As well as all that, I'm a teacher, I'm a husband, I'm a dad of 3 and a dog walker of 2. Firstly, I'd like to for a moment focus on the personal side of things. We talk a lot about institutions and structures and systems and policies, but in the end, what is happening here and now in 2020 is highly personal for adults and for children alike. Self-isolating and lockdown all sound scary and a little Kafkaesque, but actually what it is, it's a bit strange and a bit lonely. And we're not made like this. Both my daughters, aged 14 and 24, have concluded that they can't wait to be back to normal, whatever normal may mean. They want to be with their contemporaries, with their friends. They've had enough of online. They want offline back, and I agree. And working from home was going to be the future. Well, they can keep it. There's a time and a place for all sorts of things, including working from home. And there can also be too much of a good thing, as the saying goes. I miss being with people, working with my colleagues and friends all over the world, speaking at events, big and small. And the same goes for my children. My little one wants to be at school, whilst my oldest one wants to be at work. And my son wants to be with his girlfriend. We're not meant to walk 2 meters apart. We're programmed to hug and hold hands. That's why it all feels a bit wobbly and sad for all of us, but I think especially for children. I also want to note at this point that nothing can be seen in isolation. Not the personal, not the parenting, not schooling, online, offline, not experience-based learning, and not the so-called edutainment industry either. When we look closely at some of these aspects, we will clearly see this. It is all connected. And the future requires more than ever connectivity and purpose, joined up thinking and joined up doing. Here I want to for a moment look at schooling as opposed to education. Schooling being in most countries Monday to Friday, 192 or so days per year, 9 to 4 being taught, as opposed to education as in learning from cradle to grave and everywhere, mostly from experience. I am certain that school will go up in children's estimations, and with that teachers too, of course. A silver lining. And that parents will follow suit if they haven't already done so. Another very big silver lining. We are reminded that schools are not just factories and production lines of examination grades, but they're at the heart of our communities, looking after us. In this picture, acting as a food bank for its children, families, and its wider communities. We're also reminded that as societies, we need to give schools back the respect they merit. After all, where would we be without them? If you can read this, thank a teacher, says the car sticker. Doctors and nurses can read, so can presidents and prime ministers. Thank you, schools. To borrow and adapt the motto from Barcelona Football Club, Més que un club, and apply it to schools, and especially primary schools, Més que una escola, more than a club, more than a school. In the future, the role and importance of the school at the heart of communities needs re-examining, online and offline, and the outcomes need to be acted upon urgently. The school should be more than ever at the heart of the community, a catalyst for change and a hub of excellence. Another silver lining. Online or offline, experience-based edutainment or textbook, this debate will develop further, and I suspect not least around quality, complementarity, emergency learning, longevity, who the teachers are. Online does not replace the real thing, but can be magic and aid in some equality of experience. And access, of course. Online or offline learning is not about either or about replacement or superiority. They are pieces of a bigger learning jigsaw that focuses on appropriateness and on the individual child, with a clearer connect between teaching and learning and experiences, as well as all its contributors, including, of course, the edutainment sector. One of the biggest challenges to come out of all of this is around access, equality and fairness. The gap between have and have not, clearly linked to can and cannot. This is the biggest priority for the future and now sits in the centre of the social mobility arena. It must be acted upon urgently and by all, not just government. There is an important role here for the edutainment sector, for industry partners as corporate and social partners, and for NGOs, of course. The position around schools and access for all has also shown us how at times woefully out of touch with reality our governments are. How will the learning out of school be affected, and how in the short term will we collectively bring back public confidence to take children out into the big wide world again? How will we clearer, better and with greater purpose connect between teaching, learning, online, offline and experiences? How in the case of Kidzania, for example, will we be even better and further reaching educationally for more children of all backgrounds in more places? I see a Kidzania online on the horizon, not as an online afterthought, but as an integral, global, free part of purposeful provision and opportunity developed with schools for children. The online environment is also the third teacher. Should we not collectively now develop a minimum set of quality out-of-school experiences for all children, utilising the edutainment sector as a resource and a force for good? Perhaps this participation could even count towards formal qualifications. You can only get a star if you've participated in an X number of activities during your formal education years. In museums, parks, galleries, sports clubs, on farms, in places of work, including Kidzanias. A broader, more balanced education contributing to better social mobility, utilising every resource available from a myriad of educational partnerships. Now there's a thought. There is such a thing as society, and it has been heartwarming to witness this. Some 750,000 volunteers coming forward in the UK, for example, to help the vulnerable, is amazing. I'm very proud of my eldest daughter and my son to have joined. The little one is volunteering at home. But it is also evident that as societies, we seem to have unlearned many good things which need relearning as a matter of urgency. Greater respect, less anger, less selfishness, including online. Another collective responsibility, this time led with parents, I would suggest. I also think that something interesting and important has happened around heroes. They're no longer the conventional Marvel type presidents, adventurers, sports people and celebrities. They are nurses and doctors and cleaners and teachers and supermarket workers and ambulance drivers, volunteers as role models. Let us just make sure that in 12 months' time we still remember that when the clapping has finished, the respect and recognition remain. We need a rethink of our schooling, including places, timetables, school days and holidays, and who can be teachers. We need to trust and have confidence in the educational professionals. This is the age of the expert. A clearer connect between content, in and out of school learning, teaching online, offline, and experiences is required. The next three images speak for themselves. Schooling, education, and care are the responsibilities of all of us. Hope is always there, like a light at the end of a tunnel. And shortcuts lead to car crashes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And finally, in all of this, please remember who you are rather than what you are. It is more likely to bring out the best in you and everyone else, including, of course, our children. Thank you.